Hello and welcome to Happily Letter After. Today's tutorial video, I'm going to show you the basics of hand lettering on the iPad Pro. So obviously you're going to need an iPad Pro or any other iPad, the later generations that accept the Apple Pencil. I have one of the older models, so I have the first generation Apple Pencil, but whatever one you have will work fine as long as you've got the Procreate app on it as well. So go ahead and open your iPad, open Procreate. The app is going to look like this right here. And when you open it, you're gonna have your canvases. You're gonna probably just have the default ones with the samples that they have if you just got Procreate. But otherwise, you'll have something like this where you have a bunch of things. So to start off, you're gonna wanna press the little plus sign, and you're going to want to do a new canvas. I always do the screen size canvas just to start off with. I have a square one that I like to use when I do things for Instagram. And if you pinch with 2 fingers, you can zoom out of the canvas. I like to do that so I can see the whole thing that I'm working on, or you can zoom out. All right, so let's get familiar with the buttons and what they do and how things work in Procreate. So the little wrench icon here, you can add files, you can add photos, you can take a photo, you can add text, which a lot of people before Procreate didn't have this. They would get another app that you could put text in and then transfer it over here. Now you can just do it directly into Procreate. You can cut, copy canvas, paste. The canvas, you can get your grid. When I want to do, so you click this, turn it on, you can turn it off whenever you want. Edit drawing guide. And here you can do different things, isometric perspective, 2D, symmetry. 2D is your default. Symmetry, it's really nice if you're drawing like a heart, or if you want to do a wreath or whatever you want to do. They have different things. Make sure your assisted drawing is on, and well, I'll get into that in another video, but you can do a vertical, horizontal, the quadrant, or you can do radial. Radial is real fun because you can do cool patterns and stuff like that. It's real fun, but we're just gonna stick with a 2D. And to center things, what you can do is if you pull it all the way to the right, it gives you a nice access where you can center your work, and I'll show you that a little bit later as well. But for now, let's go down maybe to about 62% or 62 pixels for the grid size. Press done. All right, and this little magic wand tool over here has your different filters. So they have opacity, Gaussian blur, motion blur, perspective blur, sharpen, noise, liquify, your hue, saturation, and brightness, your color balance, curves, and recolor. Oops, sorry. And this little S looking thing right here, this lets you do different things with cutting out images. It's real handy, especially if you have some letters or a piece of artwork and it's not in the spot that you want it to be in. If you just draw over it, you can move it, and I'll show you that in a minute as well. But let's just go over the buttons. The arrow, you can move your piece that you're on that layer. Your brushes, you can go in and choose from the brushes that they have. I have a lot downloaded, and then I have some that I had made. And actually, we're going to be using my Happily Letter After lettering brush set that I have available. You can purchase the entire set on my site, happilyletterafter.com, or you can join the email list, which is free, and you'll get 2 free brushes, and we're going to use those brushes today. So it's going to be the medium round monoline that we're going to use, and we are using the script brush. So it's important to have those. If not, you can follow along using a default brush, that'll work fine. But as for the lettering part of it, it's going to be a little difficult because Procreate doesn't come with good default lettering brushes with the pressure sensitivity and everything. Like they're not that great, but they do have other great brushes. This little hand right here is your smudge tool, and that's great if you want to blend colors. The eraser obviously erases, but if you click on it, again, you can choose one of your brushes, choose which one you want, and you can do different texture erasing and stuff, and that's a lot of fun as well. Your layer panel, that's very important to keep. It's important to keep your pieces separate on your layers. That way, if you need to edit something, it makes it easier and you don't have to redraw things or redo anything. And then of course there's the color palette. And I have a lot that I have made in here. I am going to use the default one that came with it. It's called Flourish, and yours may be called something different depending on when you downloaded it. I'm not sure if they changed that or not. So to get started, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get rid of the grid, and I will show you why. So I have a brush that I made especially for this class, for those of you who are new to lettering, and it is a letter practice grid, and I will leave a link for you so you can download it. And this is great because you can make your lines on the paper or on your canvas here, and you can use it as a reference for when you're lettering. So let's go into the colors, and if you go to Classic, if you double tap down, you'll get Pure Black. If you double tap up to the top left, then you'll get Pure White. But let's go with black, that way we can see our grid. And you just brush it on like this. And I have mine set at 69%, so you can do that same setting, or you can, whatever you want to use it for. Another option you have that I want to show you is you can, if you have downloaded my first video where I have for hand lettering by, using marker, those printouts are saved as PDFs, so you can download them to your iPad. What you would do is you click on your wrench, you go to Add, Insert a Photo, and then you would choose from your recents, you would probably have it downloaded in here, and then you would click it, and it would bring it into Procreate, and then you would just size it to your canvas, and then you could draw that way. But I'm not going to bring it in because we're doing horizontal canvas right now, and it's a vertical paper, so it would look weird. Anyway, so let's practice using the brush set that I have. And you want to click on the N in the layer. Well, let's label this as your grid. And all I did was just tap on it and then rename. Click on the N, and let's change the opacity so we can just barely see it, because it's only going to be a guide. We don't want to rely on it too much. All right, now press this little plus sign up here to add a new layer. And let's rename it. Let's see. Let's just do, lettering 1. All right, so that'll be our first lettering layer. And then go into your brushes. And let's do the script brush. Well, I'm gonna do the script brush fine because that's what I have for you guys for free in the library. The other ones you can get, like I said, you can pay for the complete set that I have, which is also available on my site. All right, so let's letter let's just start lettering. Let's see. How about we do the word lettering? Remember to go down harder, and don't be afraid to put pressure on it. I was afraid at first. I didn't want to break my iPad, but you're really not going to. Just make sure you put pressure going down and then barely any pressure when you go up, because your up strokes, you want them to be lighter and thinner, and you want the down strokes to be heavier and thicker. All right, and let's do another layer. I'm gonna do lettering is fun. How about that? So let's call this layer is. And I'm gonna go with that medium brush, the medium round monoline. Oops, there we go. That's another thing I want to show you. Okay, so if you wanted to draw a triangle and you don't have the steadiest hand, what you can do, draw it roughly and then hold it. And then you can scale it to whatever size. You can also edit shape. So if you click edit shape here, see how it always says triangle? But you can make it a polyline, quadrilateral. They have different options. You can do the same thing with a square, the circle. Circle is pretty easy. If you draw a circle, it's not perfectly round. You can kind of see that. To make it perfectly round, put one finger on, and now you've got a perfect circle. And this is great for letter O's, for wreaths, for borders, for whatever. And you just click your undo button. I forgot to let you know on this side here, this top one is going to adjust your size of your brush. This is your color picker. Right now all we have is black, but you can pick your color. And then right here is going to reduce the opacity of your brush, which you can kind of see in the preview there. Sorry, forgot to mention it. All right, so let's do another layer, and we're going to do the word fun. All right, and let's also do that one with the monoline. If you hold down the pencil after you draw a line, you'll get a straight line. Just hold it, and then you can drag it to where you want. Just don't lift the pencil. Give it a little time. It takes a little time sometimes. All right, so this isn't centered at all, as you can see. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go back into here, go to your canvas, turn on your drawing guide. Let's do edit drawing guide. Let's bring this all the way up. So it just has the 4 sections here. Click done. And this is real distracting, our grid. So if you uncheck this box right here, it'll turn it off. You can delete it if you want. Just swipe to the left and press delete, but we don't need to do that. You can always just turn it off. That way if you want to go back and add more to it, you can. But for now, we'll just turn it off. And let's go to our lettering layer first. And we want to move it. So you're going to press the arrow. And now we can move it. And see this little green line right here? That's the center of your word. And I'm going to make it a little bigger. So pinch with 2 fingers. You want to be careful doing this though, because when you enlarge your letters, or anything, if you enlarge anything in Procreate, it can become pixelated because it's a pixel-based program. So you don't want to enlarge too much, but this is just for demo purposes. But just for future, for good things, good projects, you don't want to do that. All right, let's go to is, make sure it's selected, your arrow. Oops. If that happens, just press reset. Sometimes with smaller words, you have to use your fingers. Make sure you have 2 fingers. I'm going to shrink this one down a little bit. And let's go to fun. And you can drag the corner too, that's another option. And if you are slightly off, like I am very, very, very slightly off from the center, if you tap in the direction you want to go with your finger, it'll move it. Another handy tool is double tap undo, triple tap redo. I forget to do that sometimes. I'm old school and I like to do the undo and redo buttons, but it's a nice handy tool. And then if you accidentally do that, because I have done that before, you accidentally press it, then you can always go back, you know what you did. Now, here's the trouble. As you can see, we have all the space down here and not a lot of space up here. So to fix that, the easiest way to do it, instead of moving each piece down, especially since we got them where we like them, what we're gonna do, we have fun selected, we're gonna swipe right on the word is and on the word lettering, and then we're gonna hit group. And then click the new group word. Now we're gonna go to our arrow. Now we can move the entire thing. We're moving the whole group. And see, we can line this dot here, this middle dot, with this horizontal line, and that centers our work perfectly. Okay, so now you may be thinking, great, I got a piece lettered. I don't want it in black. I already lettered it though. What can I do? All right, now the easiest way to do this, there's a couple different ways you could do this. So let me show you. Let's do the word lettering first. So you click on the word lettering twice until it comes up with this menu. And then you click select. So this is going to be the first option to change colors. Let's go back to the palettes. I like going to the palette. I like to see the colors here. The value, you can always get your hexadecimal if you find one online you like, color palette. All right, and with this default flourish that we have here, let's go with purple. I like purple. So we've got the color selected that we want. We have the words selected that we want. So now go back to your layers, click on lettering again, and now you're gonna click fill layer. Easy, right? That's all there was to it. All right, now here's another way you can do this. And this way, to me, is really fun. So I'm gonna skip is for now, and I'm gonna go to fun. And you're gonna click on it again, get this panel again, and we're gonna do alpha lock. And let's go to your color palettes, and let's do this pretty blue right here, the fourth one in. Go to your brushes, and if you have this downloaded, if you have my the complete lettering pack downloaded, then select the extra large round monoline, because that one is the one I made specifically for coloring, and we're gonna have fun coloring this one. So if we color over here, nothing's gonna happen because it's only the word fun. See that? I love this. This is my favorite. I like to do this a lot. It's so much fun. You can even drag colors in. So let's go with a different green. You can drag it into that. And you don't have to have your layer and alpha lock to do that necessarily. So let's see, how about this last one? We'll do it kind of this magenta color, and we'll color that one in. See, that was fun. All right, now for is. This one, I am just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna select it, and I'm gonna change the color to a pink. I get asked which way is my favorite way to do it, and honestly it depends on my mood and the project I'm doing. Sometimes I like to do alpha lock, sometimes I just want to color. Sometimes I just want to color. I don't know if you ever had those days. That's why I downloaded a coloring book. Anyway, I think this piece is good, but we need a background. Now there's two ways you can do this. You can click on background color and you can change it that way. Which actually none of these colors go well with what we have to begin with. Or I'm gonna go with changing the background to a solid black. So if you go to your classic view, double tap on the bottom right, you get your black. And now make sure you're in the right layer. And you can drag it in, and now you've got that. The purple though is a little dark, so let's go back to the word lettering. I'm going to select it. And while we're in the yellow here, let's change it to a brighter yellow. All right, great. We can turn off our grid. And now if you want to share this, all you have to do, click back on that wrench. There's a little up arrow here. Click that, share it as, you can do it as a Procreate file and you can share it with other people, or you can share it on Photoshop, PDFs, JPEGs, PNGs, there's a bunch of different ones you can do. You can even share your time-lapse recording video. If you want a time-lapse video, make sure before you start drawing that this is blue, that it's selected. Oops. So make sure that you have that selected, otherwise it's not going to record it. And you can export that. I would love to see your work, so please post it to Instagram, tag me at blackrose613, and I'd love to see what you guys come up with. You don't obviously have to do lettering is fun, but if you want to, I'd love to see your variations of it. Obviously this was just a simple project. I have more advanced projects coming your way. This is just to get the basics out there, and I have some new brush sets that I am working on right now that I plan to have out hopefully by December, at least one brush set anyway. All right, enjoy your day and have fun lettering.